Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been quite a while, but essentially I wanted to go over something that's very important for your social media marketing agency, or really if you just have any B2B agency or tool and you're trying to reach out to new clients, then this is going to help you quite a lot. Now, I'm just going to be talking about this tool I use for cold emailing. It's really not something that I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, to be fair. I found it from a blog post. It was recommended to me, and I don't even have an affiliate link for this. So this is basically just like pure value in this video. I'm not really trying to do it for a monetary gain. However, it's going to be very useful if you decide to use it. Now, essentially, it's called Rocket Contact, and what it does is automate emails, right? So I'm going to go through each part in a minute, but essentially it costs, I believe it's $47 per month, which if you're in the UK is like £35, something like that. So it's very cheap, and if you consider that it probably saves you a vast amount of time, really. If you were to go ahead and send cold emails manually, by yourself, it may take you a fair amount of time to go qualify the business, go and search for them and whatnot. But with this, really, you just click a few buttons and it's kind of plug and play. Now, the only real downside to this is that it can get saturated if you go through every single city in your country or in your town or whatever, through every different niche or industry that you're in. Then you probably getting through quite fast, because you get 3,000 connects or site submissions a month, and that's a fair few businesses. Like if you're just targeting one niche, so let's say you're just in a dentist niche, you're gonna get through pretty much every dentist fairly quickly, and yeah, like you probably only need this for like a month or whatever. So you could essentially just go ahead and connect with as many as you can, and then like cancel your subscription. So that's one way to go about doing this, but there isn't really too much downside to this because you can get through quite a few businesses in one go, right? So firstly, on your dashboard, as you can see here, we have all the different settings and things we can do with this software, and then we have a little taster video which basically just shows you how to go ahead and do this. So once you've paid for this thing, you can go through this video and essentially learn how to go ahead and automate your email marketing, right, and your emails. So up here we have their contact, we have our account, and we have the amount of site submissions we've made. So this month I've done 471, right? And I believe it just resets every time you pay. So when you pay, you're given that 30-day period of 3,000, and then it just resets after that, as far as I'm aware. So that's kind of like the home page. Now, if we were to go into campaigns, yeah, you can essentially see all the different businesses that I have messaged, right? So we have Birmingham Driving again, I didn't even do that one, Chelmsford Driving Schools, Canterbury Dentist, Edinburgh Dentist. So essentially what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've created my campaign, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm not going to go through it just yet. And I have yeah, like I'll go through it in a minute, right? Because I need to go through the messaging first. In fact, let's go straight to the messaging. So here we have our campaign. Oh no, sorry, contact us messages, right? So here we have the contact us messages, right? So if I was to go onto Driving Academy, this is essentially the message that gets sent out via the contact form, right? So every single, the majority of businesses have like on their website, they have that little contact box form, where it says like contact us here, leave your name, email, and your message, right? And then you click send. Essentially what this does is it scans through a variety of websites, right, and it finds a contact form on a website if it has it, and it will fill it out with this information. So message name, that's not really applicable, that's kind of just for me. Subject line, right, so essentially in the subject on your email thing, it's going to put RE question, right? It does this automatically. You can stick in things like business name or city. So for example, if you wanted to say like, hey, business name or something like that, you can go ahead and do that. And then in that message section, it also has the email bit, which essentially just uses the email that you sign up with. So for me, it's my business email. Yeah, like that's how that works. And then essentially in this message section, it fills out this message into that message box, right? So what I've actually done is I said, hi there, I hope you're doing well. My name's Callum. I'm the owner of a company based in the UK that helps driving schools generate new students through the power of social media marketing. I was doing some market research for one of my clients and stumbled upon you. Being trained in Facebook advertising, lead generation, and social media growth, I thought I would send over this email. I'm sure you're aware that a large portion of your target demographic is on Facebook and Instagram, yet very few driving instructors really take advantage of these platforms, right? So obviously that's for driving instructors, because the large amount of driving instructors are going to have a general younger demographic, right? They're all going to be between like 18 to 25 or 17 to 25, which really, if you look at any like teenager, I know from my experience, and I mean, I only left school a few months ago, so from seeing all that firsthand, everyone's on Instagram, right? Majority of people on Facebook. Facebook is kind of moving towards the older demographic, as far as I'm aware, or in my opinion. But definitely Instagram, like, and I mean, like, what driving schools are really using Instagram like effectively. I haven't really been targeted by any ads from driving schools in my local area, and I mean, right now I'm taking driving lessons, so literally I'm searching this like crazy, and I haven't really seen or been targeted by any ads, which is quite surprising to me. So really, it's a fairly untapped niche. If you want to look into that or get into that niche, then go ahead, do your own thing, but that's kind of just me. And then I said I'd love to jump on a quick call with you to discuss how I can help you bring in new students on a consistent basis. Would you be interested? Now, there are a few variations to this. If you're in the beginning, you could actually offer a free trial. So essentially with the free trial, you just go ahead and say, I'm a fairly new startup in the local area, and I'm looking to gain some results in exchange for a testimonial. I'd love to jump on a call to discuss how blah 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 blah, right? And then you can also say below, this is completely free of charge. All I ask is for a £50 ad spend for a 5-day trial campaign, right? And that's kind of how that all works, right? So you then say, I look forward to hearing your response, many thanks, and it auto fills out your name and your business email, right? Which you essentially set up in the user. So that's kind of the whole message group. Now you can essentially do this for every single business, or I mean every single niche that you're in. So like driving academy, yoga, dentist, free trial, gym free trial, question. They're kind of the main industries I'm in right now. I'm looking to focus on a niche, so likely going to be changing this up very soon. But I mean, for now, I'm kind of a generalist consultant, so it's more or less I'm just helping a variety of businesses with their digital marketing. But as you become more of a specialist, I'll really begin to hone in on one niche in particular. Not going to reveal too much because it's kind of new to me right now, but yeah, that's kind of how you do that. And then email messages kind of work like the same way. Essentially, the email message will scrape a website for that email address. So I mean, if you scroll right to the footer of a website, usually they have a business email, so it says like info@businessname.com, right? And essentially what this does is it finds that business email right down below, and it essentially goes ahead and sends your email template, right? So again, let's use a driving school example. It will go ahead and automatically send them a message. Now you have to go ahead and connect this with your email provider. I use the Namecheap, email thing, the private email. And I've connected it to this, so that essentially houses my business email, and it basically goes ahead and sends this message on my behalf. So again, as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the contact us message. It's just like done separately, and when we go ahead and create an actual campaign for this, it essentially does both. So for example, if a website doesn't have a contact us form or contact us box, it will go ahead and find a email address and send that. Or if it has that contact us form, it won't send this, and it will fill out the contact us, right? Because you don't want to get to the point where you're sending the same business two different emails via their contact form and via their email. It just looks kind of spammy, so you don't really want to do that. And really, if you want to avoid getting sent straight to spam, then you need some kind of business email. So for example, like for me, like Callum at mybusiness.com, or Callum at attractionmedia.com, or info@attractionmedia.com, for example, really just helps there. So that's kind of the whole email messaging thing. So email tracking, I don't really use this, if I'm perfectly honest, so kind of just avoid that. But like, I guess it just sort of like, yeah, here we go. I guess it sort of just shows who you're sending emails to, I guess. So and essentially like just shows like whether they open the emails and whatnot. So I'm not sure why it keeps coming up with Bradford, but fair enough. I don't really use this, so avoid that. Again, we've got profiles, so I've got me, I've got my company group, so essentially like I can either send messages from my name or from my company name, and like it's all kind of the, I mean, you'll get it if you get this software, like it kind of just makes sense to you in the end. Moving down to contacts, it essentially shows all the different contacts that I've contacted before or are going to contact, so always quite helpful. Then we've got the test. So for example, if you wanted to test the campaign, this is where you go ahead and do it, see how that all works. We've got user, obviously that's me. Subscription, that basically just shows you what the current plan you're on. So obviously there's all these different ones. I just use the starter plan because it's like most convenient to me and it has what I need. So yeah, like that's kind of all that. Now if we head back to the actual campaign and the actual campaign log, if we wanted to actually make a campaign and send them out, we click create campaign. We title it something. So I usually enter a city first. So let's say I'm in the UK and I want to target, I don't know, like Ipswich maybe. Can we target Ipswich? No, I mean some of them are too small to target, so you can't really go that deep. Maybe let's go for like Dublin and Ireland. Not really used that one yet. So Dublin, Ireland. Let's say I want to target gyms, right? So I go ahead and type in gym. It will essentially scrape Google for every business in Ireland with gym in their website URL. So that's quite handy. I then go ahead and I click the gym I wanted to do. So for me, I could have gym free trial, right? And then I've got gym free trial again. So that's the email message which I showed you there. That's the contact us group which I showed you there, right? And then profile group, so attraction media group, my business. And what you can also do here is you can say send email and fill out contact form. Send email when form is not submitted. Send email, do not fill out contact us form. Personally, I prefer to do send email only and don't fill out the contact us form. This is kind of just developed over like the past month I've been using this software, because I find that a lot of the time the contact us form actually fills out with your phone number automatically. And I mean, like when you're messaging like 100 businesses per day and it's filling out your phone number, you can expect a fuckload of calls. Pardon my language, but you will get like 50 calls per day from different businesses, and they're all gonna follow up with you. So I've had to block quite a few numbers just because they got so annoying. So yeah, like that's kind of where my main focus is, like just sending the emails only. And then we name the campaign, so you could say like Dublin gym. Like keep it simple, guys. Like you don't have to do anything too advanced. If you had a CSV file with a collection of different emails, you could go ahead and upload that. I've never actually done that before, but maybe I'll look into that in future. Also, if you use Zapier, so for example, you could link this to Clickfunnels, you can link this to GetResponse, and essentially if they were to respond back, they go into your email autoresponder, right, and it would send those emails also, right. Run immediately after search. I don't tend to click that because I like to kind of vet the businesses I search for. So we then click on search, and it essentially will go ahead and search for a variety of different businesses, right. This doesn't really take too long, so I'll just sit here for a minute or two, just see how that works. But basically, like, it kind of varies. If it's quite a small town or small city that you're targeting, then it's not really going to take too long, because I mean, like, if you're going to target a small place, for example, like Chelmsford, in gyms, there's probably only like 10 or 15 gyms in Chelmsford. But here, obviously in Dublin is I believe a fairly large place. It comes up with all the different records, right? And that's all quite cool. So we've got all this down. And essentially what I'd do is I'd go ahead and I'd vet these different businesses. And yeah, like you vet them. You when I say vet, I mean like I click on the actual URL, I see if they're qualified. So a way to qualify them is to see if they have a pixel installed. Now I don't believe actually you can see this right now, but I have Facebook Pixel Helper here. So when I click on here, we can see that they have a pixel installed on their homepage. Usually I like to target businesses that don't have a pixel installed because it shows that they're fairly new to this and they're not really marketing on Facebook too well. Or I mean, at least if they are marketing on Facebook, then they're not really doing it correctly because they have a pixel installed. So this may not be the best business to include. So what I like to do is I click select all, and I would just take away the ones I don't want to target. So for example, this one, if we were to look on this, I can see that they don't actually have a pixel installed. which to me is a good sign. I look at their locations, I see if it's kind of a franchise gym or not. So I mean, by looking at this, I can see it's a franchise gym. If we want to look at a certain gym in particular, we then click on here, we see how much it costs. So obviously we can see the lifetime value here, it's in euros, sorry. And yeah, like this is probably a business I would stick in the contacts. I mean, I'm not going to do it because it's in Ireland and I'm in England, so it may not be like the most appropriate place to target, but this is kind of just an example, right? So that might be a good one, so I'd leave that in. I'd go down the next one, and this is kind of the most manual part. I mean, if you want to really like make this a lot easier for yourself, you can just click on search and run automatically. So essentially, when you click that process button earlier, it would go ahead and it would basically go ahead and message every single one of these businesses, right? And send them that message, right? So you've also got to be a bit personal about this. So you don't want to just have like, I mean, in this you can actually create a follow-up email. So if you were to for example, if you were to message a driving school, they were to reply back, you could then go ahead and send a follow-up. But for example, if we were going to talk about like the driving school and we said we want to jump on a phone call and they said no thanks, then a follow-up message might send and say like, great, what's a good time to call? Like, it doesn't make sense, if you see what I mean, which is why I kind of avoid that. I just have the initial message, and essentially I will check like maybe 12 hours after I've sent this message, and essentially just see if like any business reply, and if they do reply, I will go ahead and message them back after that. So that's like kind of where all that is. I mean, I've lost that campaign now, but yeah, like essentially you go ahead and do that, right? And like once it's been processed and once it's sent, you can see all the different forms that have been submitted, you can see the amount of emails that were sent, and yeah, like that's kind of how that all works. So that's pretty much everything, guys. Like this is a pretty great tool. Shame I don't have an affiliate link, so I mean, if you want to go ahead and use this, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, guys, like that's kind of all of the that's basically how I automate my email, right? So I hope you found that valuable, because it was pretty jam-packed full of value, and it's really going to help you on your way to automate your agency, because like that's kind of the end goal, right? So there we have it, guys. Like if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because I'm lacking on subscribers right now and I need to give that a bit of a boost, right? So go ahead and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Have an amazing day. See ya.